wanna get high, man?
Let's stimulate your mind.
Get up, Chucky! What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
Rojan Kim.
Hello, and welcome to the Rojan Kim Cast. It's me, Rojan Kim. Thank you so much for joining me today for episode 211. 211. Wow. Thank you so much for lending me your ear holes for me and my mouth hole rant. My disgusting, virulent mouth that's spewing out COVID and God knows what else. What else is being spewed out of my mouth, huh? Oh my God. And what's being spewed out of yours and everybody's mouths? Let's cover everyone's mouths. Wear a mask. Cover it up. Cover it up, everybody. Cases are exploding and on the rise. The dead are going to choke the streets like they said 8 months ago. But this time it's going to happen, guys. You know, remember they were all like, we need extra hospital boats to be turned into hospitals in the parks. And, remember how none of them got filled up and then they had to lay off all these hospital workers and all that. But now this time for real, it's going to happen. Okay. There's going to be dead people everywhere, just choking the streets, just bodies, just all like the Stand, like just dead people in their cars, just traffic jams filled with cars of corpses all rotting on the 405 is just a giant cemetery. There's people dead everywhere. It's happening. It's coming. Lockdowns are imminent, everybody. For sure. It's definitely for sure happening. I think, if Biden is the president, then definitely. If Trump is the president, then the states individually will definitely do it. So I guess if you're in a red state, cool. But if you're not, boo, you're going to get fucked. Including me. I'm in California. Well, I don't know. Here, I saw this thing. So Governor Newsom, as Colin Quinn calls him, was ordered by a judge to, it was like a stay of executive power. Like he wasn't allowed to make any more rulings. And he asked the judge to put the permanent injunction against him on hold for a minimum of 2 weeks, right? Which means he's got something up his sleeve, right, for the next 2 weeks. Probably meaning that holidays are canceled. Cancel Christmas. He's already made the rules about Thanksgiving. No singing. Okay, you can't sing in California anymore, especially for the holidays, and especially if you have more than 3 households gathered. That's all against the law that he's making up out of nowhere. He can just make up laws now, right? You just make up laws because, the old saying in our country, those who sacrifice safety for freedom deserve safety, I guess. Is that what... That's what we stand by, right? We don't need freedoms. Freedoms are not important in the face of danger. I think that's what the country stands for now. I really feel like that's like a post 9/11 thing. Because right after 9/11, they got everybody with that fear, right? The color-coded fear. Fear, fear, fear. Everything is, see something, say something, see something, say something. If you see, anything could happen. Terrorist attack, imminent, anybody, and we really haven't had a terrorist attack of that scale, which is really what I was hoping for would happen on Election Day. That was my desired outcome, a terrorist attack on U.S. soil, which never occurred. Never occurred. I don't know what, well, not that I want people to die per se. It's not exactly that I don't want them to die either. I think it's unavoidable. It's like you can't wish for people not to die. What are you going to just have people just walking corpses, just people who just never die? Haven't you ever heard the fable of the guy who took death and put him in his bag, and then at the end everybody's all begging him they want to be freed from this life? You need death. You need it. Okay, I'm not saying it's great. I'm not a part of like a death cult saying that we all need to die. Even though, if you really think about it, a lot of our ills probably would be solved by a little bit of population reduction. But I am in no way advocating any kind of genocide or murder, systematic murdering of people, population control. That's not me. I'm not into that. Okay, so I'm not advocating for it. I want to make that clear. I have a firm, non-genocidal stance, just as a person. I don't know. I mean, if I guess was the head of a government, then I don't know. I mean, I can't make any promises. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. You give me that power, I can't promise you I will be good. I've been watching Lord of the Rings. Not even Galadriel could stand the power of the One Ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Am I Frodo? Am I Frodo? Am I Frodo to have this power, to be given this power to wield for good? That's not what happened. Frodo was tasked to destroy the ring. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you nerds. Get off my back. Ooh, what am I yelling about? I'm yelling about freedom. I'm yelling about freedom. All right. Well, I mean, look, Newsom is definitely going to put in a bunch of protocols and try to get the cases down. Meanwhile, the cases are going up, but also testing is going up. That's a Republican talking point. Don't say that. No, but literally the testing is going up. It's just logical. Testing is going up. Cases are going up. Okay? Yeah, we could just stop testing and then the cases would go down. But the other thing is, let's talk about the tests. Okay, the tests themselves, it's controversial. This should be controversial. It's not controversial at all to the media, but the tests themselves are set at a threshold to obtain a very high false positive. Let's see if I can find it.
Trusted everything they're telling you about cases, admissions, people in ICU, and deaths all pivot off this PCR test.
There have been a number of reports of patients who shed viral RNA for weeks, as determined by PCR. It doesn't seem to be infectious virus. And the real question is, are they a threat for transmission? And I'm wondering if you think we could use a cutoff of viral loads determined by PCR to say this patient is no longer infectious, can go home, can go to a nursing facility. Because right now the physicians are really having a hard time with that.
Right. Again, a good question. And what is now sort of evolving into a bit of a standard that if you get a cycle threshold of 35 or more, that the chances of it being replication competent are minuscule.
That was Fauci. Right.
If you get a cycle threshold of 35 or more, that the chances of it being replication competent are minuscule.
And a cycle threshold above 35 generally is people who are not infectious.
So if you were to go to, say, 40 cycles, you might get a positive result, but it might be a false positive.
I would be very unhappy about a 40 cycle PCR. I would be very unhappy about a 40 cycle PCR.
Yet NHS England documentation that has not been updated since January runs cycle thresholds to 45, which is identifying people who are not infectious.
Everything you're being told, every scary fact and prediction from Whitty and Valence, all hangs off the PCR test, which they have admitted they cannot tell what percentage of positives are false and true.
Okay, well, see, guy's got an English accent, so it's true. That was a clip I found on Twitter. It was some UK media, but the middle part where you heard Dr. Fauci talking about how anything above 35 on the PCR test would probably be, minuscule in terms of if you were contagious. Basically, they're talking about contagiousness, replication, viral replication, and he says it's minuscule above 35. All right, so if you have a 35 and above, if you're using the tests have something called PCRs. They're like cycles, like how many times they cycle your blood to figure out if you have antibodies. And the lower the number, that means the less times it goes through. And if it finds viral particles with a lower number of cycles, that means like you're pretty probably infected. But so the higher that number gets, that cycle number, that means the many more. That's like how many times it's actually screening. And then so that's how many times it took to find viral particles. And what they're saying is like if that number is above 35, they're screening it. The cycles are above 35, then if you found somebody who tested positive, they probably wouldn't be contagious because the test is so sensitive. And if it's over 40, there's probably going to be a shitload of false positives. And then in Britain, their setting for the NHS, the National Health Service, has set the PCR cycle at 45, right? And they have no way of separating out false positives from positives. Listen, Okay, do you think the U.S. is any better? This explosion in cases, do you think it might have anything to do with the fact that just logically, that there are more cases? Number one, we know that because we are doing more testing. Okay, very logical, not crazy. That's logical, right? But we are using this test to come up with those numbers. This PCR test, okay, mostly, and that it's very possible that there's a very high incidence of false positives, which we have no way of actually determining at the moment because of where the cycle is at. And it's also possible that the people that are testing positive are not necessarily a danger to anybody. Okay, these are all possibilities. These are all things that are worth exploring and figuring out and maybe talking about in the news instead of just being like, cases are on the rise, we're all gonna die, hospitals are being overwhelmed, hospitals are 98% overwhelmed, ICUs are 98% over. And did you know that the ICUs are always 98% to 99% full? Like I learned that because they use that to scare the shit out of you. It's overwhelmed, but it never ends up happening. It hasn't happened yet. Okay, that doesn't mean it won't happen. But the promises that it will happen should be met with more skepticism, in my view, right? I mean, it's been 8 months. They said it would only take 2 weeks. Now it's been 8 months. And now they're like, no, trust us, bro. It's going to get crazy out there. And so then what? What have we been doing all this for? What are we doing any of this for? Fuck it. Let's just open it up. Let everyone die. That's what let them die. Let them die. That's what I say. Okay? What are we doing? We're trying to save lives, the most vulnerable. That's what we're doing. We care about saving lives. You know my thing. We have a drug war that incarcerated millions of people and destroyed millions of lives and killed millions of people in cages. We have a war on terror. We're bombing the shit out of countries all the way the fuck. Where are they? We don't even know where they are. You don't need. It's even hard to name all the countries we're at war in. Let me see. Okay, we know the big two. We started with Iraq and Afghanistan. Those are the big two. And then we spread it into Syria, Libya. We did a little bit of what is that? Syria, Libya, Yemen. Okay, those are the 5 that I know for sure. I think we're doing something either like in Niger or Somalia, like somewhere around there. And I think we also got some action going on in Pakistan. I don't know if that's still going on. Pakistan. Basically, we just declare war in places without really declaring it. Because we've got cool robots, Skynet drones, we can just kind of fly over and just be like, and they can't do anything to us. They don't have nukes. It's cool, right? We're just picking on non-nuclear powers. We're just picking on, I don't know, I guess strategic areas. I don't even know. There probably is no real reason anymore except to just make money. Considering we sell half the arms to everybody in the world, what does it even matter what the wars are about? As long as they're not nukes, as long as it isn't on American soil, I mean, hey, it's money. Pay both sides. You train one side against the other. You pay them both to fight each other. I mean, it's great. We're in the money. We're in the money. I mean, that's just the American way. That's how we make a buck. That's how we do it. I don't know. I just feel like people are like, is Rogan a Republican? I mean, nobody's doing this. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Am I a Republican? No. My dad was one, so that kind of makes sense why I might be turning into my father. But no, I don't really believe in either party. You know what I mean? I don't really believe in parties and believe that, in fact, once you have these party machines, I think they're just very easily corruptible. They end up becoming the problem more than the solution. That's what it seems like to me. I don't know. Politics. I am very interested in politics. I mean, duh. Like, here's the thing. Talk about it all the time. I'm interested in news. I look at the news, look at the politics. I'm all about it. But I'm not necessarily into the conventional wisdom of politics, let's say. I'm not really into like the mainstream view of everything. I don't necessarily think of the corporate media as a place of truth. In fact, what am I doing? I'm trying to figure out what truth is. Trying to figure out what is true, and is that even possible? Is it even possible to know what the truth is when everything is subjective? We're all perceptual beings. We use perception to, figure out what reality is. So there's that. So we're easily fooled all the time. There's no way of actually knowing what absolute truth is until you get to, I mean, the closest we've come to is numbers, right? Math. And even that is under assault, right? Critical race theory says 2 + 2 = 4 is white supremacy. So it's coming for you, 2 + 2. I mean, a lot of Asians are standing by the math. They're like, oh, you don't take our math from us. They're trying to take away college. They're trying to take away the colleges. Don't you take the math. All right. All right. I don't know. Fucking Asians. All right. The Asians made it look like you have to all wear masks and that the masks work and all of that. And, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I think the masks clearly work in certain situations, especially sterile ones. That's not what I think. That's what science. I mean, that's what science says. That's what it looks like for me doing my research. But I'm not a fucking scientist. I'm just looking into all this stuff because because on one hand, it's just blindly accept whatever is being told to me. Just blindly accept it. So what do I accept? That means that the pandemic, okay, it's real, but it's deadly and it's out there and it's killing people. All these people are dying. Hospitals are in danger of being overwhelmed. You know, meanwhile, let's not talk about healthcare. Nobody talk about healthcare. We're only going to talk about the cases, what we need to do now. Lock it down, lock down, or don't lock down. Let us no masks. Don't lock us down. Freedom, blah, blah. You know, these are sort of the two polarities. And it kind of makes the Republicans then look like a death call. It's like people who wish death upon people. Oh, they want them to die, whatever, you know. And then the Republicans look at the Democrats as like communists or authoritarians, you know, who want to shut down freedom in exchange for some illusory fear, right? I naturally lean toward freedom. I naturally lean toward less autocratic rule, you know. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, I was with everybody at first, just like everybody else is saying. At first, it seemed like it was crazy, but now it doesn't seem as crazy, so maybe we can act accordingly. But whatever. I'm the crazy guy. Look, I wear a mask when I go inside, okay? I don't wear a mask when I go outside. Outside. Inside, outside. It doesn't make any sense to wear it outside. I mean, you're in a completely uncontrolled environment. The only reason you wear it outside is to make other people comfortable. That's it. Or if I'm uncomfortable, you know, I put it on. So I'm okay with that. So here's the whole thing. That's the line maybe for me. And maybe this is why I'll end up in jail, mask jail. I don't know. What, they like cram you in a jail filled with people and force you to wear masks? I don't know what they would do. How would you enforce it? Just ticket people, make revenue. It's a new revenue system. That's actually kind of cool since no one can, because weed is not really something you can give people a ticket for anymore, so why not do masks? You got to come up with some way of making money. So I get it, okay? But until they start really enforcing it, I don't know. Outdoors, it doesn't make any sense because it's not what is it? Because just what is the logic of the mask, right? It's that on one hand, the sort of scientific thing that's been proven in sterile environments is that with the mask on, somebody who is virulent breathing outward would pass less particles. Okay, that's really what it is. It has nothing to do with like stopping the particles from coming in, right? It doesn't protect you, it protects others, right? And then if the logic is if everybody does it, then everybody's protecting each other. Now there's some science coming out that maybe it does protect you as well. Maybe there is some, I mean, it's blocking something. Maybe there is. I guess the issue here is that the science is not all out and it's incredibly hard to conduct experiments to make any kind of claim about how they would work outside in the real world, where we're not in a sterile environment. You're not disposing of them all the time, like in a hospital. You're not, you know, you're always touching your face, adjusting it, touching it. There's people, you know, there's things, people everywhere. There's, you know, it's not sterile environment. There's air everywhere. Like if a virus is going to penetrate you, it's not just going to only come through your mouth or nose and then see the mask and be like, darn, you know, it's just going to get onto your skin. It's going to go into your ear hole, your eye holes, whatever, like it doesn't really protect you. It just gives you the feeling of protection. So it feels, you know, you feel protected. So I understand that. I'm okay with that. If you want to put it on because it makes you feel comfortable, that's fucking fine. But don't force me to wear one to make you feel comfortable. See, that's the line. So that's the whole freedom line. Freedom. Seriously, though. If you're uncomfortable, you wear the mask. Okay? You perceive me as spreading germs and killing everybody or whatever, then you should stay home. You shouldn't make me wear a mask because it isn't actually stopping any of that. It's not going to stop that. It doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't have a mask on, but those people eating, okay, those people don't have a mask on, and we're all, it's like, do you really think that's how it works? That we're all like cars emitting poison from our mouths, and somehow the mask is some kind of like catalytic converter or something. It's some kind of like thing that magically cleans the air that goes in and out of your mouth. And it's not. I mean, and if you want to live in an illusory world of that, that's fine. But see, the problem becomes when you see other people not doing it, it starts to shatter your own world. Like, in order to have this worldview, everybody has to comply in your mind, right? It's all about making people comply. But you know what? It's too late. Look, in Asia, they did it early. They crushed it. They're used to wearing masks. And it isn't everybody wear masks in Asia. It's sick people wear masks. So the sick people would wear the mask and everybody would avoid the sick people. That's how you're supposed to use a mask. If everybody's wearing a mask, who do you know who's sick? Who's sick? Nobody's sick. Everybody's sick? Everybody's sick. Oh, great. What? So then there's no social distancing anymore. In some cases, it's impossible. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, there's evidence that the masks could be more harmful than helpful. Okay? There are graphs that show when mask mandates are put into effect, cases go up. Hospitalizations and cases go up. If the masks help, why would that be? Why would that be? We should look into it. Instead of just blanketly stating that they work, it's giving people palliatives. Instead of giving them money, they're like, hey, have a mask. They should at least hand masks out to everybody. How about that? Just give everybody a mask. Do you want to do that? Maybe that will help. I don't know. Okay. I probably sound like, well, am I an anti-masker? He's an anti. How about vaccines? You know what? You can't do the I'm not even saying. I'm saying it's not scientific. Okay? It's psychological. The mask thing, mask mandate. The idea of it. Like, sure, wear a mask when you go inside. Okay, sure, fine. How about just like find out who's vulnerable and who's sick? Okay, there was some weird noise. I think I fixed it. All right, I'll stop ranting about masks. It's not. See, again, I'm not anti-mask. I'm not pro-mask. I'm pro-science. I'm all about science, okay? And the science is not out on it, and let's just be honest. That's what it is. I'll still wear it. I'll wear it to make people comfortable. I won't wear it outside. That's stupid, okay? I'm not going to go that far. If you can get away from me outside, get away then. Yeah, I'm the Asian guy with all the germs. Yeah, you racist. You racist. I work in medicine, you racist. That's what I like to tell people, huh? That's right. I work in medicine. I'm a virologist, you racist. And that's not how it works, you dummy. Why don't you trust the guy who knows how it goes on? Trust the guy whose genes give him a naturally higher IQ, you fuck. All right. Yeah. Recognize the intellectual genetic superiority of the East Asian man. All right. Then woman. Okay, so there was the whole vaccine news, and the stocks went up. Stocks, yeah, vaccine, yeah. And then also stocks went down because they were like, oh no, lockdown's going to be over. But then everybody's like, lockdown's going to be over. But at the same time, everybody's like, lockdowns are coming back, everybody. So it's very confusing. The market is thinking people are saying they're rotating their money out of the growth stocks into the value stocks now because, people are looking forward. The market is projecting forward. And the market is also projecting, with the Biden win, electric vehicles and China and all the, and cannabis and all this, But I don't know, guys. Gold also plummeted. Big old plummet from gold. People were selling off their gold, but what were they doing with it? Maybe they were buying value stocks. Maybe they were buying Bitcoin because Bitcoin is now approaching all-time highs again. 16,000 as of this moment. Bitcoin is 16,169, bro. I got in at around 94, which was like earlier. It's like in the summer or whatever. I didn't have enough money. I mean, I only had $940. Like so, but so it's not like I had a lot. But that money is now has grown, right? Money's grown. So that's cool. But Bitcoin, I don't know. I think is still subject to lots of volatility. But then so is gold, and so is stocks or stonks. Like everything is subject to volatility, especially now. It's a volatile time. But then you know what else is subject to volatile action? The dollar. Okay, the dollar might. Not saying the dollar is going to get totally worthless. It's just, again, just logical, right? That's what all the money people smarter than me are saying. The sound money people, you increase the money supply, you print more money, you devalue the currency. That's not rocket science. There's no way out of that. Okay, it's just nature. Can't fight it. Just like the virus. Okay, it's nature. You can't fight it in that way. You can be smart about it. You can work around it, but you can't fight the nature of supply and demand. Okay, which is one of those things that exists. And the thing about Bitcoin is that the demand is rising and the supply remains steady, and it's going to continue to go down. There's only 21 million Bitcoin that are going to be mined. They're not even all mined yet. I don't even know how far we are. But it's a fixed supply thing. It's a money. I mean, unless they fucking destroy it somehow, nuke or China could do something, maybe, but there's also geography. Listen, you want to find out more about Bitcoin, go out there, just read the white paper. If you haven't read the white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto, you could also, there's a CoinDesk podcast I listen to that. There's all these podcasts. Just look up the podcast Bitcoin, Let's Talk Bitcoin. No, wait, I don't like that. What Bitcoin Did, that's kind of a nice one. There's all these different podcasts that I've been listening to just to understand it more, understand the crypto space more, understand what the fuck they're talking about. Learned a little bit about Austrian economics prior to that, because I was learning about gold, and everything that applies to gold applies to Bitcoin. I mean, that's what these billionaire dudes are saying now. What's that name? Stanley Bruckmiller. I don't know these guys. Listen, I'm not a finance guy. I listened to Mad Money for a while, and then I stopped because I was like, this guy, I was on Nancy Pelosi and the guy from CrowdStrike. You know what I mean? It just it seems a little too, it's good to know what the establishment, what the machine is thinking, I guess, right? But at the same time, I don't know. It's suspicious. It just, if you think about it, you have this market based on confidence, and then you got a guy on TV getting to just yell about certain companies and saying buy, sell. It seems like, I mean, it seems like it could be a scam. I mean, not to say that it is, not to say that there's any defrauding going on, unless you think of the entire market, stock market, as a fraud, which there's a compelling case for that, considering the way they just dump tons of stimulus money into it whenever there's a crash. You know what I mean? They basically have trained the markets to, expect a nice little stimmy once they'll crash the market. People crash the market and they expect something to boost them up, and if it has been, so then stocks just keep going up. Keep going up. It could never, everything, Bitcoin's going up. Stocks are going up. Everything's going up. And then at some point, is it just going to keep going up? No, it has to go down at some point, right? I mean, it has to go down. It has to go down. I mean, that's the whole thing about like market psychology. It has to go down. And then it does go down. It's like, it's going down. Oh my God. Is it going down further? When will it stop? When will we find the bottom? It keeps going down. It's not stopping. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Oh my God. Are we at the bottom? Are we at the bottom? Well, how do you know when you're at the bottom? Well, how long has the price been going down? A long time. Well, there's no way it could keep going down. There's no fucking way. It's so cheap. It's so cheap. People are going to come in. They're jumping in. They're buying it because it's cheap. They're buying. Oh shit, it's going up. The price is going up. The price has to keep going. It's so low. The price has to go up now. It's going to keep going up, guys. It's going to go to the moon. We're going to the moon. Okay, and there you go. That's the cycle. So who knows? I'm just treating Bitcoin personally like it's gold, like a store of value like a savings account. But not so much if something tanks, I'm going to get fucked. I guess any amount is fucking bad, but whatever. I'm trying to think about the future here, okay? I'm trying to think of like 5-10 years. You know, I need the money to live now, but maybe some of that money can work for the future. What the fuck am I talking about? You know what? There is no future. Okay. Well, listen. I think one of the interesting things is that Bitcoin and gold used to go hand in hand as stores of values, or at least a lot of people felt that Bitcoin and gold are correlated. And this is the first time I think there's been a huge move in gold downward without Bitcoin following. So it's decoupled, people are saying, from gold. You know, could be that people are selling gold and buying Bitcoin, you know? And the thing is, like, if I buy gold, where am I going to put it? Or where am I going to do it? I could shove it up my ass like that dude. There's a guy who did that, a criminal, shoved a bunch of gold up his ass, and they saw him walking funny. They pulled it out. They found it. So there's still a market for gold out there, you know, but you got to go through that, you know. With Bitcoin, at least you could have it in the cloud, you know, you could have a paper wallet. You could have a, you know, virtual wallet. You could have a hardware wallet. You know, there's so many different options, easier to carry around. As long as there isn't some kind of massive solar flare, then I guess gold. Then I should have had stacks of gold. Should have had those stacks of gold. But I feel like we have other problems at that point. I feel like ammo would be just as valuable at that point, right? If I have a gun and you have gold, well, now I have gold. So I don't know. I think that's sort of once you throw a solar flare into the equation, the market is upended, and now we're back to, you know, whatever the Hobbesian sort of, you know, what the fuck is that brutal and cruel nature thing, Leviathan, the whole idea that we're cruel to each other in our natural state, you know, and that's what it's going to come down to. Power, might makes right, you know. It's just guns until the ammo runs out, and then it'll be arrows, I guess. People will be really good. Get back to fletching. You know, we could all start, you know, I think it's a long lost art. Every single person back in the day knew how to shoot a bow, ride a horse, shoot a bow. That's all I'm saying. Okay, nobody knows how to do it anymore. We've declined. We've degenerated. We know nothing as people. We couldn't feed ourselves without electricity, without the conveniences of modern technology. We would all die. Okay, so then what does that mean? Do we deserve it? Do we deserve to die? I mean, agriculture was another technology that let us live much, I guess, longer. There's that book, Sapiens. Yuval Harari wrote a book called Sapiens, and he talks about how, like, you know, agriculture was this huge revolution. It enabled tons of people to stay alive, but not necessarily to have great lives, you know? So it's sort of like you're just always hungry, but at least you could live, you could eke out survival for, you know, so you could grow massive populations of laborers or whatever and feed them just about enough, you know, to keep them going. And then you could do that instead of having like a few people eating really well. So I guess that's, you know, maybe that's just the nature of humanity. You know, a few people eat really well, and many do not. And that's just how it's going to be, right? Unless you believe in this, I guess it's Marxist, this sort of idea that we have a propensity toward equalization, that we're all gonna have equal outcomes, guys. We're all gonna be equal. We're all gonna run a race and cross the finish line at the same time. Let's say 10 billion. Let's say by the time we get to 10 billion, we will be so evolved that all 10 billion of us can run a race. And then we cross the finish line at the same time. Right? That's it. Wow. Well, I can't wait until humanity gets to the point where that is a possibility, where we can all have equal outcomes. We can all squat 350. That's a good number, right? If everybody just squats 350, I don't know why that's 250. It'd make it easier. I can't squat 250. 150. Okay, let's get it. I can squat 150. I think. I haven't squatted in a long time. God damn, I haven't been to the gym in like 8 months. I haven't been to the gym. I haven't done jiu-jitsu. The last time I did jiu-jitsu, I got a free class. No, that's not even true. I got a Groupon for a month. And I took my first class at this place called Dynamics MMA, and it was just me and one other guy, a giant man who wrestled. Okay, it was obvious he wrestled, and it was obvious he was a giant, and he just fucking had his way with me. He just fucking did whatever he wanted with me, and then he gave me, I'm pretty sure he gave me Corona, okay? And that was November. That was last year. Around this time last year, I'm pretty sure I got it from a giant white wrestler man. So unless he got it too there and he thinks he got it from me. I mean, it's very possible that he came out of it sick and he got it from me, but I am pretty sure that I got it from one of them, or I picked it up there, because I got sick immediately the next day or two. I started fucking having crazy diarrhea. I know that's one of the symptoms. I had the diarrhea corona. I didn't have and then I had the cough, and then I had but 2 weeks of hell, just feeling like shit, weak, just fucking. But this was before there was even corona. I had no idea. Had no idea it existed. Okay, and then after that, I started learning about the pandemic. I started learning about it, and didn't really put two and two together until a little bit later. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I got it. Because everybody was saying it's flu season, and everybody thought they had it because something was running through. Think about last year around this time. Did you get sick? Because a lot of people were getting sick. But, a lot of people are like, that's a conspiracy, whatever. But if you look at the whole thing, the whole timeline of where the people with cases were being reported in Wuhan, it starts in November, okay? And then people are traveling everywhere, okay? That's already a month or 2 months of travel there, right? They had their fucking Chinese New Year. There's people traveling everywhere. I'm sure there were Chinese people with corona in the MMA gym that I was at some point, right? It's a heavy contact thing. But really, it's more likely that the guy I always had full contact with had it. It's very unlikely it was just hanging in the air. I'm pretty sure it's the giant sweaty man who had it, who gave it to me. And he was stronger than I was physically and in his immune system, okay? Because he didn't seem sick, but I got sick. Unless he was recovering too. I mean, that's also a huge possibility that the guy had been recovering, was feeling better, came to jiu-jitsu and was like, oh shit, there's a tinier Asian guy that I can just fucking hump all the entire class. I'll just roll him over and hump him and get him sick with corona. I mean, he didn't know he had it, but I don't know. Anyways, my whole point here is that my friend Koji Bamba, jiu-jitsu, you can't, it's very hard to choke him. One time I remember I was rolling with him and he let me just get on top, mount him, and collar choke him, and he just lay there, not even defending, and me just, I think it was back when I was a white belt, I was like just trying to choke him, and nothing was happening. And that was when I learned, wow, even if you think you're doing something, you could just totally not be doing it at all. Right? Up until that point, I was choking people with that collar choke, and I thought, hey, I'm good at this. And then I realized, I'm not good at all. Until, it's when you encounter somebody who is more skilled than you, who, whatever, is tougher than you, or whatever, just whatever. Okay? You go through life, and you hit the wall, you hit obstacles. You find out that you're not the guy you thought you were. You're not as good as you thought you were. You have all these kind of, because we have these thoughts. They're like masks for our brain, right? Inner masks, right? Little masks to keep you, let you feel safe. These are little things we put on inside, on the inside, psychologically, to keep our thoughts and feelings safe, to feel like, yeah, I got this. I know, of course, I know. Because otherwise it's all chaos and it's like, you don't know anything. At any moment you could die. A blood vessel could just burst in your brain at any time. I mean, you're at the whim of chaos. So instead of doing that we go, no, I know what's going on and I know this and that. And, I'm going through life. And then sometimes you encounter someone. I think that's what's great about jiu-jitsu, right? It allows you to encounter a problem in real life. And as real as you can get, primal, right in your fucking face, where it's like, uh-oh, it's not working. And this guy can do whatever he wants to me now, or girl. I've been woman-handled as well. It's not sexist. Don't think I ever got corona from one, though. You filthy, dirty wrestlers. Fucking filthy. Wrestlers are the grossest. They're nasty. Anyways, it's also all gay, okay? It's all... I don't know. It's all very gay and dirty, and yeah, I think I got corona from it. So that was last year, though. I've been fine since. I haven't been sick the whole year. Been fine. This plague? What plague? I've been fine. Huh? I've been fine. I've been exercising. I've been trying to. Haven't been able to squat, like I said. How did I even get to that? Oh, equality of outcome. Yeah, squatted. Hey, I got up to 2 something, and then they shut down the gyms. But whatever. Okay. Here's what's gonna happen in California. They're gonna fucking shut it down again. They're gonna say it's gonna be. We need to do it another 2 weeks. They're gonna say they're gonna take it all the way to summer. They're gonna take it all the way to summer. Meanwhile, me just prognosticating, Trump is going to be successful in taking some of these things to court. And it might go all the way to the Supreme Court. I don't know if he'll win. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I think it's not dead and buried, okay? It's not dead and buried like the Creek in the Cave, right? The Creek in the Cave, which is it was a club, quote unquote, / Mexican restaurant in Long Island City where they did free mics every day. Every day there was like free mics. Every day there was a lot of great stuff for comics to do without paying or doing bringers. You know, I was booked there a couple times for the main stage show. So, you know, and it was a hang. It was a place where it was just where comics hung out and improv kids or whatever. But then it got really like, gay. Okay, it got really like like Brooklyn hipstery, kind of wokey, the proto woke prior to whatever. And it's a lot of just kids with glasses. And I have glasses. I know, I get it. But there's a lot of kids in glasses who think they're all smart and they think they know what comedy is, and they're very judgmental. It's a very judgmental group of upper class twit type people, which is weird. I mean, there's a lot of like working class and poor kids and whatever, you know, funny kids too, but I don't know. It's always very snooty and competitive to get in. You got to get in there. You got to get in. And I was just like, I didn't care. I just really didn't care. Okay? I didn't care about getting in. I was also older. That's the thing. I wasn't like, you know, that's how I feel now in comedy. It's like, I don't really care about being part of the scene because that's not what this is about for me. You know, I want to be in a dark room with people saying dangerous things that make them laugh because, you know, it might be freaking them out. I don't know. I mean, like I said last time, this whole thing might be over if the lockdowns are going to continue. I mean, the electoral map is basically just a place where you can do stand up for real. That's basically all it is. All those red counties, you know, the red states are all the places where you can do real stand up, and blue is outdoor and Zoom. Okay. And that's what it's come down to. And so you're forcing me. I'm being forced to the right. Okay. I'm being forced to do that, or I have to acquiesce. I have to bend the knee, put on the mask, do the Zoom show, do it outside with the mask on. You know, you gotta do it. You gotta conform. You gotta bend the knee. It doesn't matter if there's no science. If the science doesn't show it, I don't care about your graphs and charts or whatever. Listen to us, or the experts, they say. Listen to the science. I don't care about that data you're showing me. Listen to our data, which we have none of, which we're not going to show you. Oh, well, here, we'll show you this. See the scary graph number? See the scary number going up? The case numbers are going up. See the scary number going up? And then you go, hey, what about the false positive? And then they go, you Nazi, you're trying to kill us. You want to wish people dead. You want people to be dead. So I don't know. Hey, nothing is as it seems, at least if you take into account the reality that's being presented to us by the corporate news. I mean, that's just, I don't know. It's hard to argue that. I know there's people out there. I just don't talk to them. I don't interact with a lot of people, I guess, right now. I mean, we're all locked down or whatever. But I know there's people out there. Actually, that's not true. I just did. There's people out there who like, yes, one side is good. The other side just wishes death upon people. And we listen to the science. We listen to the news. It's the whole cathedral thing. You know, like I think Michael Malice calls that. Listen to Michael Malice. Listen to all these people. Listen to all these people that are outside of the dominant orthodoxy, let's call it, right? Joe Rogan is sort of the stepping stone, and in a way he's sort of mainstream of there's the unorthodoxy, right? There's the orthodoxy, the unorthodoxy, and of the unorthodoxy, you know, there's like culture, counterculture. on that side of the yin yang, you got Joe Rogan, who's sort of the big whale, but then there's many little spawn, all the little spawn, Dave Smith and fucking, I'm just talking politics right now, but like Dave Smith and like, or not, Eric Weinstein's cool, or Weinstein, whatever. A lot of cool people out there. Fringe media, you might call it. Right. But that's what the mainstream media calls them. And it makes sense because they're threatened. It's a threat. If you held the monopoly on information to suddenly be threatened by some guy with a podcast, that's fucking would drive you bananas. You put billions and billions of dollars into information control, and meanwhile, some dude started a thing in his garage and he's getting millions more fucking people than you ever could. What the fuck is going on, right? What do we got to do to control these peasants? How about a virus? Okay. Some of you are thinking, I've probably lost it. I've gone off that. No, this is all for entertainment. Okay? I just want you to know this is all for entertainment. I'm not even Korean. I'm actually half black, half Latino. And I am. Me llamo es Jorge. Okay. No, I don't know if that's bad. I'm white. No, I can't do that either. Somebody's going to just take me saying I'm white and then use that against me in the future. They'll be like, Roger Gibb, you were accused of being a banana. And I'll be like, what? And I'll be like, this is you on your own podcast, episode 211. I'm white. And like, then they'll be like, fuck, case dismissed. He's white. Get him. And then they'll string me up. They'll hang me, because I might have said it's okay to be white at some point. I just said it right now. They'll use that. Didn't you on episode 211 you said it's okay to be white. And then they'll use that against me. And then it'll be whatever. It's the best thing that could happen in my career. It's not really a bad thing. Anyways, thank you so much for listening, guys, to the Rojan Kimcast. This has been episode 211. Please follow me on, Instagram and Twitter. Find me on YouTube. Find me out there on the interwebs, on the Spotify, the Stitchers, the Apples, and the Googles, and all that. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, goodbye.